What is your profession?
So here we have 2,000 points of Genestealer cult today. I'll be running 3 battalions, so I will have 18 command points, and we'll go through. I've done some pre-game stuff, we'll go all through that in a moment. So we'll start off on the left with the 1st battalion. We're going to be running a Hive cult detachment. We've got 3 squads of neophytes. Each squad has got 2 heavy stubbers and 2 grenade launchers in it, and they will be in a Goliath truck each with twin autocannon and a heavy stubber. We also have a Achilles Ridge Runner with mining laser and 2 heavy stubbers. And we have a big unit of 10 Atalan Jackals. They've got 2 Wolf Quads with a Clearance Incinerator. And they've got 2 grenade launchers. The 5 regular bikers have got shotguns and demo charges. And the guy on the end here has got, is the lead, has got an auto gun and a shotgun. That will be led by 2 Maguses. And one of the Maguses has the relic, the Crouchling. And we'll go through their psychic powers in a moment. 2nd battalion is over here. This one is going to be Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor. So we have 3 units of acolytes. 2 of them have got a 5-man each, and they've got 1 rock saw on each. This one at the back has got a leader with a lash whip and bone sword, and they have got the cult icon. And then we've got a big, rounding out the 3rd troop choice, we've got a big 15 acolyte squad here, and we've got 6 rock saws in there. Leader's got a lash whip and bone sword, and there's another cult icon in there, so that's a big anti-tank unit there. There's also 3 elite choices in here. We've got a big unit of aberrants, and in there we have 6 picks, 2 with hammer, and then we have 2 hybrid metamorphs. The hybrid metamorphs are the one with the purple tentacles, and each one of those has got a heavy improvised weapon, so another big tank busting unit there. The other 2 elite choices are, we have a Clamavus, obviously, always enjoy the +1 to charge, and we have a Biophagus. Now this guy I absolutely fell in love with after using him at the Games Workshop tournament. He has got his familiar as well, so he'll be getting a more reliable role on the aberrant buff table. Leading this attachment, we have a Primus and an Acolyte Icon Ward, and I have spent a CP at the beginning of the game to take an extra relic, and this relic is the Cult of the Icon Ascendant. It's the Icon of the Cult Ascendant, sorry, so that gives everyone around them +1 strength. Final battalion is another Hive Cult one. Going to add some numbers to this force now. There are 3 squads of 14 neophytes in here. I had 3 points left over, so one of the squads has got a grenade launcher, but everyone else has just got auto guns, and they are led by a Jackal Alphas and a Patriarch, who's got to be my main warlord of today. Now pre-game stuff, go through it very quickly. I spent 1 command point on Brood Coven to give him a warlord trait, her a warlord trait, and the Primus a warlord trait. The Primus got the Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor one, which means I got D3 command points back, and I got the magic 3. So I spent 1 and gained 3, so I was on 20 command points. I'm on 19 because I took an extra relic. The female Magus took the generic Genestealer Cult Warlord trait, which makes everyone around her within 6 inches fearless, because I've got a lot of infantry today, so I want to make sure that they're not running away. And Big Daddy, the Patriarch himself, took the Hive Cult one, which is Hive Lord, which means everyone around him will be re-rolling 1s to hit in the shooting phase. So there we go. Psychic powers, we'll go through those now quickly. So the Patriarch has Mental Onslaught and Might from Beyond. The male Magus has Might from Beyond, Psychic Overload and Psychic Stimulus. And the female Magus has Mind Control and Mass Hypnosis. We've got all that written down, so we're not going to get that mixed up. So there we go. Bit of a long army list intro, but we've got lots of different things going on here today. Let's see what the Brotherhood of Nod, my Genestealer cult force, will be taking on today. So Simon is back today. Some of you may remember we had a Black and White Marine versus Black and White Marine battle. My Black Templars versus his Raven Guard. He's back today with his Armageddon Steel Legion in their absolutely brilliant white and red paint scheme. So Simon, take us through what you brought today.
So today we're running a brigade detachment of the Steel Legion. Heading that, we've got 3 company commanders, one with a power sword and bolter, and the other 2 are just running bolters and their chain swords. The elite are 2 astropaths, one who will have Night Shroud and one who will have Psychic Barrier, and we have a Tech Priest. The troop choices are 6 bare bones squads, no special weapons, no upgrades on the sergeant, just 10 men and a las pistol and a chainsword on each of the sergeants.
Excellent.
The heavy support option, should have said we're also running a tank commander.
Oh yeah.
HQ with a bolter, battle cannon and twin plasma cannons.
And so he got the relic battle cannon today.
And be adding to the relic battle cannon onto him.
Excellent.
Heavy support, we are running the 2 standard basilisks. They're not Armageddon pattern, they're just models.
Just the models,
but we're just running standard basilisks and a heavy weapon squad with 3 mortars.
These mortars are very infamous, not for them doing any damage, for them being the exact opposite, which I've never actually seen them kill a single model in over 24 games. So this is good. Now is the time when they swing the luck back, hopefully.
They're there just to die in the first turn, that is it. That is all they do. Fast attack, we are running 3 armoured sentinels, keeping them cheap with a multi-laser on each of them.
Excellent.
And with it being the Steel Legion, we are running 6 chimeras, both with double heavy bolters.
Absolutely fantastic.
We have also brought a super heavy auxiliary detachment of a Knight Crusader. I'm going to be running this as House Crast. He's got the battle cannon and the
Gatling
cannon, couldn't think what that was, and he's also got the missile pod. I'm going to be spending the command point to upgrade him to a Warlord and giving him the relic Gatling cannon and the 4-up invuln save.
Excellent. Okay, yes.
And I will also be spending 1 command point to bring in a Vindicator Assassin, hopefully just to try and keep some of your psychic carriers a little bit away from me.
Yeah, definitely. He was very good against me in the Black Templar match, so we'll see if he can keep his performance up in this game.
And my Warlord will be the fellow with the power sword, who'll have Grand Strategist as his Warlord trait.
Excellent.
And as I said earlier, the relic battle cannon, I'm spending a point to turn it into an armoured fist.
Okay, so Vigilance Detachment.
Detachment, yeah.
So 2 command points we've spent at the beginning of the game, 1 for your Knight, 1 for your relic battle cannon essentially. And another one, 3. So you start off with 15, so you're back down to 12. Okay, excellent. So there we go, guys. I am not running the loyal forces today. In fact, I think Simon's come here to show me how I should be, running my armies on this channel. So let's see how it goes. We'll be back after mission and deployment. So here we have the field of battle after deployment. As you can see, the Genestealer cult deployment zone, there's just a few radar blips. So the narrative we've got going on today is that this central Arbite's precinct house, which is in the Underhive, has gone dark. Last reports from them was that there'd been some unruly activity from the slave workers in this area and the indentured workers, and then there's been no reports since that last communication, and the Steel Legion have been sent in to pacify any low-life rebels that dare to rebel against the Emperor's will. Little do they know that there's actually a full-fledged Genestealer cult, and this is just the start of Ascension Day. So that's the narrative we've got going on today. The mission is Strategic Gamble, which means we basically have 3 cards every turn, and if you don't like what you've drawn, you can get rid of 2 of them and redraw another 1, so you can take a chance. Deployment is Dawn of War, just thought we'd keep it simple, and the objectives are here. So we've got 1 in the sort of first hab zone, we've got 1 in the precinct house, 1 in the generator area, another 1 in this hab block here, and 2 in the warehouse district. So there we go, we've done that. As you can see from my deployment, it's all blitzed. We'll come over to the Steel Legion here. We've got 2 chimeras with 2 squads in, some lone wolf squads with a company commander being able to give them orders. We've got that set up again in the middle, so the Steel Legion have got good board control here, able to move out and capture any maelstrom objectives that pop up. And then we've got a big old castle of death. Chimeras and sentinels providing a good screen. They'll be moving out. hopefully against the Steel Legion to really zone me out. Not against Steel Legion, against the Genestealer cult. And then we've got the tank commander here, the knight with the tech priest, basilisks, and the little mortars over here, and the snipers just there. So castle with some lone wolf units able to snatch and grab objectives. So currently the Steel Legion have the first turn, but will the Genestealer cult be able to steal the initiative? Oh, I should say, just before we do that, we've discarded some objectives. In this mission you can get rid of up to 6 Maelstrom cards before the beginning of the game. I just got rid of Scour the Skies, Priority Orders, and Domination, and Simon got rid of Domination, Scour the Skies, Defend Objective 4 because it's all on my side of the board. Priority orders receive as well. Advance, doesn't think he's going to be leaving his deployment zone anytime soon in that castle. And Regimental Pride, because that one he can only get in close combat with a character and against another character. And Sam doesn't fancy the chances of his company commanders versus a patriarch, essentially. So there we go. Let's see if the Brotherhood of Nod catch the GDI unawares. No, it's a 3, so the Steel Legion will tentatively advance into this area. Let's see what happens by the end of Steel Legion turn 1. So end of Steel Legion turn 1, and the Sons of Armageddon have powered forward, creating quite a nice deep strike denial zone around the precinct house. Sentinels have pushed forward here along with another Chimera to stop me from getting near the Castle of Doom, which is the basilisks and the other heavy firepower. Simon got a few of his infantry units out of his chimeras just for the simple fact that one of his Maelstrom cards was Chain of Command. So he did that because he wanted to basically issue as many orders as possible, and he got enough for the D3. Unfortunately, he rolled the dice and he only got 1 point for that, which is unfortunate. But in terms of the rest of the turn, there was lots and lots of shooting. The commander and the knight opened up on the bikes, so because what appeared out of the blips was the bikes, and there was trucks here. There's another truck down there, and everything else is now in deep strike. I actually used a command point to put 3 units up into cult ambush. But basically, Simon did very good target priority. He used his units that were hitting on 3s to target my bikes because they've got a -1 to hit, and he was just able to wipe them out very easily between the knight and the tank command. It wasn't even difficult. After that, though, most of the main firepower had been sort of dispensed, and it was down to things like multi-lasers and heavy bolters, which sort of struggled. We have 4 wounds done over here to this truck, and the basilisk both opened fire on the buggy. One of them didn't manage to do any wounds, the other one only did 1 damage, and it took another wound from a bunch of heavy bolter shots. So whilst the dirt bikers of the cult might have been blown away, the light armour of the cult has managed to withstand quite a heavy hail of firepower. So at the end of that turn, Simon's secured objective 6. That's one that sentinel is stood on there, and he also got Chain of Command. He hasn't scored Witch Hunter yet, but he's keeping that in his hand because I've got plenty of psychers. So let's see what the cult can do to respond. We're not going to have a lot on the board at the end of turn 1, but we will start coming in turn 2. So let's see if we can score a couple of points and see what we get in Maelstrom cards as well. So the cult, despite the fact we didn't have a huge amount of resources on the field, we did do fairly respectably. This squad jumped out here to secure this objective, which is one of my Maelstrom cards, so we've got a point there. These 3 vehicles moved forward, and this truck with the guys inside stayed still. Now what we did is that truck and the guys inside opened fire, and were able to kill one of the infantry squad from there, which meant we were then able to play Chilling Efficiency, and then everyone else, despite the fact they moved, still was able to hit on 4s. And with all that firepower, we were able to kill the 10-man squad and get first strikes. So that's 2 points. The Ridge Runner, unfortunately, wasn't able to shoot the squad, and it did fire off onto one of these chimeras, didn't do any damage. Various small arms and grenade launchers that weren't in range of the infantry squad went into things like chimeras, but again, the Imperial armour held firm. So the cult have done a fairly respectable reply. We've secured objective 2, we've begun defending objective 4, which is this one here, and we've also got martyrs to the cause, which means I need someone to die via unquestioning loyalty, which isn't going to happen anytime soon, but is almost certainly going to happen at some point in this game. So there we go, that's the end of Cult Turn 1. We've got to survive another brutal turn of firepower from the Steel Legion, but as long as we can, then our reinforcements will start coming in. Actually, even if we die, because of being chapter approved, even if I lose everyone, my units still get to come in. There is no tabling in chapter approved, is there? So it's fine. No panic. No panic. We will get reinforcements, but let's see if any of these guys can survive the fight and firepower from the Steel Legion. I imagine the ramps are going to come down and the infantry may pile out. No, Simon's shaking his head. He's saying, no way, Jose. No way. Keep the men protected.
Get out the tank.
Alright, we'll be back at the end of Steel Legion turn 2. So, the Steel Legion this turn mostly remained stationary in order to bring all their firepower to bear. Starting off with the tank commander and the knight, the ridge runner, and this truck were swiftly dealt with. The occupants of this truck bailed out, but unfortunately they bailed out, 2 of them died in the resulting explosion, and they bailed out into a hail of mortar, heavy bolter and lasgun fire, and they were just turned to red mist, nothing they could do. As a result, very tactically, the Steel Legion has denied me defending objective 4. I thought 3 units on there, 2 pretty much full strength armoured vehicles out with 6 that feel no pain, but as a result, it was the Vindicare Assassin that actually got the truck. Yeah, it was looking good for the Genestealer cult, and then the Vindicare fired a turbo penetrator round and just absolutely smashed that truck to pieces. So that was what did it. Which was a command point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a command point, but it was definitely worth it because it meant that the Genestealer cult didn't get a 2-point objective. Over here, the squad was just battered again by this truck exploding, killed a couple, and then all the small arms from the Chimeras wiping them out. The Basilisks were a bit unlucky. The first one did nothing, and the second one only did a couple of wounds, and it had to use the aerial spotter stratagem. So, they had a few points sunk into them. They have not really performed yet, the Basilisks. We'll see if they start picking it up in the later turns. Finally, the Sentinels, which have been consistently doing okay, combined with a couple of Chimeras, was able to bring this truck here down to just 2 wounds remaining. Steel Legion luck was pretty consistent across the board. Genestealer cult luck was a bit unlucky, to be honest. I think I had to make 28 something feel no pain rolls, and I successfully made 1. So, but that is the way the dice go sometimes, and it'll probably mean that my luck will swing round in the subsequent phases. So there we go. The Steel Legion were able to secure objective 5 and hold the line, which puts them on 5 points, including First Blood, to the Genestealer cult's 2, including First Blood. So we'll see what the cult can do to respond to these aggressive, oppressing Imperial forces. So the Genestealer cult have responded with chilling and deadly force against the firepower of the Steel Legion. We decided to not go for objective 4. I know it's a carb, but we're not going to go for it yet because, frankly, between the Basilisk and the mortars, and those 2 Chimeras there, anything we put down there would just get destroyed. So instead, what we did is we popped a unit 3 inches away from a Chimera down there. The reason for that is we wanted to secure objective 1. Now we did think about popping a Psyker down there and trying to mind control the Knight. Problem is the Knight's actually within 1 inch of all the characters and stuff, which meant I would have only been able to do a single attack with that Knight in close combat. That's how mind control works. So it becomes part of my army. So that's actually very well played. Simon did do that intentionally. So because otherwise I was going to mind control that Knight and start blasting away at the tank commander, but I couldn't do that this turn, unfortunately. So we'll see if I can potentially do it in future turns. So that was the Acolytes dropped in here, big 15-man squad. They got the perfect ambush, they got the 4, they got the charge against 2 Chimeras, killed both of them easily, and a couple of guys from each squad died in the explosions. Well, not explosions, but wreckages. These two 5-man squads of acolytes came in over here, and we made contact with both sentinels. We weren't unfortunately able to kill one of them, but we were able to kill the other one. All the shooting was pretty ineffective against Steel Legion at this point. They're pretty tough armoured forces, but we were able to, between mental onslaught against that chimera, we did 8 wounds to it, and then the sniper, she got 6 to hit, 6 to wound, and just absolutely just smashed it, just destroyed the last couple of wounds on that chimera with the mortal wounds. And those guys powered out, but none of them died in the explosion, I don't think. Two. Basically, 2 died from each squad in the wreckages. So not a bad turn. Not a bad turn. The cult has, we've spotted sort of like a weakness where if we can break through this screen this turn with as much as possible, we can start trying to get in amongst the fire base next turn. That's the plan. It might not go off, but that is the plan. So let's see what happens going into the Steel Legion turn 3. Oh, and I should have said that we got secure objective 1 from the insurrection squad there, and we managed to get Master of the Cause because I charged in this guy first, and he one of the acolytes took an unquestioning loyalty save for him, so I actually managed to get 2 points that turn, which puts me on 4 to the Steel Legion's 5. So we're not doing too bad on the points. It's pretty neck and neck at this rate. Let's see what happens. So the Steel Legion have stood firm in the face of the Xenos abomination. Wave after wave of las fire, battle cannons, heavy bolters just came and just absolutely annihilated all the acolytes across the whole front. Really just impressive firepower from the Steel Legion. The Xenos armor could not withstand the small arms at all. And then also the Big Knight and Big Knight shot these guys over here, reduced them down to just 4. And also the Lasgun's managed to plink 2 wounds off her. And the Vindicare tried to kill the Patriarch, but a neophyte jumped in front of it, so that was good. What happened? You just tell me.
And the...
and you took the truck out here. The truck. Yes. Oh, and these guys lost 4 in the explosion, so they might actually lose some more to morale. No, they're okay. So the Genestealer cult are battered, very badly battered. We're down to basically 2 neophyte squads, but we've still got all our characters, and we've got the aberrants which are about to come in, and we have broken the screen. We've made a chink. Let's see if we can force the opening. Let's see what happens going into Genestealer cult turn 3. Oh, and I shouldn't forget, Simon managed to master the warp, so he's 6 points to my 4, so there isn't a huge amount of points difference here. It might be looking bleak, but we can still got a few tricks, and we can still hopefully get some good points. So Genestealer cult turn 3, we fought back as hard as we possibly could. We did okay, so we were able to might from beyond the aberrants, and they just basically went in. They tore apart the Sentinel, the Basilisk, a Tech Priest Engine Seer, a squad of men, and they tagged that tank commander as well. So they did really well. I needed to get the 6 in the perfect ambush because the screen was still pretty intact, but there was a little gap that let me get slightly closer, and he did 6 in the perfect ambush. I didn't have a reroll for it because I stupidly used it on my Patriarch, and I managed to get it. So the aberrants, they went in, it was the perfect ambush, and they absolutely they tore everything to pieces. These guys moved and charged into Sentinel just in case the aberrants didn't do it, but they were fine. These guys moved forward. We fired some piddly shots into these guys. They actually took a leadership test because they lost 4. 8. So another one has gone from there, and that squad died. That squad, did it take any casualties from the shooting? I think it's fine though, isn't it? It lost 1 or 2, but it's fine. So we've created a big hole. We've reduced the incoming firepower. Let's see what the Steel Legion can do to reduce. I should say though, there was great potential for the Genestealer cult to swing the game in their favour, because we had in our possession Blood and Guts and Area Denial. Now we cleared the area here, which would have given us D3, and we killed 4 things in combat, which got the D3 for blood and guts. We needed, if we'd got double 3, even if we just got two 2s, it would have been fine, but we didn't. We got double 1 on both, so that would have really pushed us into the lead. As it is, we're on something like 6 points each now at the end of turn 3. How tough are those aberrants? We're about to find out. Let's see what the Steel Legion can do going into turn 4 and the halfway point of this game. So, as has been tradition in this game so far, the Steel Legion, like the material that they are named after, have not broken, they have not bent, they have withstood the onslaught, and they have responded with lots and lots of firepower. The aberrants pretty much absorbed absolutely everything, but they were the last really combat effective unit in my army. But they finally did die, and a couple of 3 neophytes died, but that is it. It did take everything, and they did make a lot of good saves, but the thing that really saved him was the Knight. The Endless Fury, just even though it reduced the damage by 1, my Bestial Vigour, it just has so much firepower coming out of it that it just absolutely tore me to pieces. The only thing that moved was this Chimera. He's coming forward because he wants to try and secure Objective 2. Classic Lone Wolf Squad tactic there. And he's also got to defend Objective 1, which is over here, but Doctor is defending that at the moment. So he's got to come to the dock if he wants to get his objective. So the Genestealer cult are thin on the ground. We're not going to lie, we've basically got a handful of neophytes left, but we do have all our characters but 1. He did manage to kill the Magus there for Witch Hunter. So he is out in the lead by, I believe, 1 point. Let's see what the Genestealer cult can do. We're going to need a good draw here. Let's see what they can do. Well, what an absolutely, some would call amazing, some would call bullshit turn, depending on which side of the fence you were part of. Basically, guys, I drew another big set. I got rid of Defend 4, and I drew Mission Critical Objective, which was number 6, which was this one over here, which if I took it off my opponent, I would get D3 victory points, and I got 2. So that's fine, so that put me in the lead by 1. And then I drew Kill the Unbelievers. And what this is for you get a victory point for each unit that was destroyed at the end of the turn. Okay? So that's a big deal. Because there was a lot of quite badly fragmented units. There was a 5-man squad here, which we were able to kill. There was the Warlord, which unfortunately we weren't able to kill. So that would have given us an extra one. So we killed 1 squad here. We killed the infantry squad there. Sniper Lady jetted forward, then marked, and then shot and killed the Astropath. That gave us 3. And then we killed the Mortars, which gave us 4. And then we got a company commander over there, which gave us 5. So that meant we are now, from 2 cards, we are 6 points in the lead. Absolutely insane. I should just check if I can consolidate within range of that truck, but that's the only thing I've forgotten to do. So that's big. That's big. Turn 4 to potentially get 6 points in the lead. Just out, so I'm not going to be able to do that. To get 6 points in the lead on turn 4 is a big one. Now Simon has just drawn area denial, which means all he has to do is kill this squad here, and he'll get D3 points. He's got secure objective 2, which means he's going to get another one, at least. So he's definitely going to get at least 2 points, could potentially get 4 points, could potentially get my Warlord, could be 5 points. So whilst it seems like all has gone dark for the Steel Legion, I think that was a final flash in the pan for the Genestealer Cult. But let's see if the Armageddon Steel Legion can finally crush these upstart rebels. The Steel Legion have done what they needed to do. They're doing a very good turn. And it's turn 5 as well. This is so close. So the Lone Wolf Squad jumped out of here, secured objective 2, got the point. The Chimera came on here, lent its fire support, and between that and the Knight was able to kill this squad here, which gave him area denial within a 12-inch bubble. He rolled it, he only got a 2, which is on the D3 means he only got 1 point for it. Over here, these guys took a bit of a battering, and after a leadership check, there's just 6 of them left. He has also begun defending objective 1 over here. He also got the Warlord with the Sniper. I took 3 wounds from the Basilisk. He had to use my last command point to save one of the Invons. And then the Sniper came in. He failed he wounded me. I wanted to make a 4-up unquestioning loyalty with him, and I failed it on a 1. He rolled to see how much damage he did, and he only did 2 the first time, which wouldn't have killed me. He used his last command point, and he got enough. Got a 6. Headshot. The Patriarch has fallen. So well done to this Vindicare. So, the Genestealer cult have 6 neophytes and a Primus left on the board. And we have no command points. But we are currently ahead. Because I was 6 ahead that turn. You got Warlord, Secure, and Area Denial. So I'm still 3 ahead at my turn 5. So this is interesting. But if you get that defend, you're still 1 behind. But you get Line Breaker, so that'd be a draw. So I need to try and stop that and hope the game finishes. Actually, I'll still get a point for Line Breaker there. So I just need it to end on turn 5. If it ends on turn 5, it's a cult victory. Otherwise, it's a Steel Legion victory. It's that close, guys. Let's see what happens. Steel Legion do deserve to win it. And let's see what happens at the end of Genestealer Cult turn 5. Genestealer Cult turn was very quick, but it was very important. We drew advance, so we automatically got 1 victory point. And we drew Kingslayer. I came in here, I took a wound on Overwatch. I did manage to kill the Warlord, but I only rolled a 1. So it's only worth 1 victory point plus 1 for Warlord. So that's 2 in total. So I went up by 3 points there. So you were behind by 1 at the end of that turn because of that. So basically, you're now behind by 4 because I just scored 3 victory points. Yes. So Steel Legion are behind by 4. On a 1 or a 2, the game ends. I've been rolling a lot of 1s or 2s, so let's just be honest. It's going to go the other way now, and it's going to go on. Let's see what happens. It's a 1. The game has ended. Good game, Simon.
Well played.
I just want to say, I feel really bad about that because the Steel Legion deserved to win that. They didn't do anything wrong. They did all the cards that came up. 1 card won the cult that game. 1 single card. And it was kill the unbelievers. That's it. So what would you have drawn going forward if it had gone on, just out of interest?
Big Game Hunter.
So you couldn't get that one.
Blood and Guts.
You could have got that.
And Troops on the Ground.
Which you could have got. So I think it definitely would have started pulling back in favour of the Steel Legion then. Oh, but what an absolutely fantastic game. The cult, with 7 models left on the board, scuttle away into the shadows, and the Steel Legion have definitely won the battle, but they've lost the war, so to say. What an absolutely fantastic game. Couldn't have asked for a closer game. I told Simon, bring something nasty. He was like, oh, I'm going to bring something fluffy. I said, no, bring something hard. He definitely brought something hard. That knight has been tearing me to pieces all game. Just a bit of sort of post-game analysis. Everything we in the Steel Legion army, everything did well, apart from the basilisks. Is that what you'd say?
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment.
But you did learn about the aerial spotter stratagem, which made a huge difference. In terms of the cult, there's not really much to say. I stole that one, to be honest. I won on points, but I definitely lost in terms of the battle. So in terms it's definitely a moral victory for the Steel Legion. They absolutely tore me to pieces. And just to give you guys one last little bit of context, and not to go on too much. This is the 3rd time my cult and Simon's Steel Legion have gone up against each other. We've had 2 games down at the club, and now we've had another game here on Battle Report. And this is the 3rd time the cult have won, but the first time the Steel Legion got smashed.
Yeah, that's
the second time it was a bit closer. This time they should have won it. So every single time that we go up against each other, these Steel Legion, Simon comes back with something harder and harder every single time, and it gets closer and closer. And he should have won that. It literally came down to 1 card. He should have won that. But that is, I guess that's the whole point of Chapter Approved. That's the whole point of Maelstrom. It is a points game in the day. But thank you very much, Simon, for playing. I really appreciate you coming down.
Enjoyed that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And hopefully we'll have you back for more battle reports. Maybe Raven Guard versus Cult next time.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe you've got Grey Knights in the brain as well, don't you?
Yeah. Just
we'll see what happens. So
for punishment.
So we'll end with a beautiful shot of this knight blazing gold with both lamps shining on it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.